Lamine Yamal turns 18 and he's got one thing on his mind: winning it all. The Champions League and the World Cup, he said boldly, and with the iconic number 10 shirt likely coming his way, the future looks bright for Barcelona's young gem. But while Yamal dreams big changes are brewing at Barca. Marc-Andre ter Stegen could be on his way out, with Pep Guardiola's Manchester City ready to swoop in. Plus, transfer updates on Pau Victor, Wojciech Szczesny, and Barca's new number 1 Joan Garcia. It's a summer of transition at Camp Nou. From bold birthday wishes to calculated squad decisions. Stick around as we break down everything happening at Barcelona right now. Barcelona's young star Lamine Yamal has turned 18, and alongside the celebrations, he has made his future ambitions clear. After marking the occasion with a private party alongside teammates and friends, Yamal quickly returned to club duties. On his schedule are the usual medical checkups that players undergo before pre-season. But the bigger news is that he is expected to be unveiled as Barcelona's new number 10, one of the most symbolic shirts in football. The Catalan club has taken the chance to look back at Yamal's remarkable journey so far. Since making his debut at just over 15 years old, he has smashed more than 30 records for being the youngest to achieve various milestones. On top of that, he has already collected a number of personal and team honors. His rise to the elite level has been nothing short of spectacular. Barcelona shared a clip from an interview Yamal gave a few weeks ago, where he revealed his biggest wish for turning 18. His answer left no room for doubt. "I'm asking for everything I had at 16 and 17 plus the title I'm missing, the Champions League, and also the World Cup. I'm not thinking about how many years I have ahead. I want to win now. I tell the Cules that we will fight, and I'm sure the Champions League will come home," Yamal said. Next week, Barcelona are expected to officially announce Yamal's new contract and confirm his shirt number for the season. Unless there is an unexpected twist, he will inherit the number 10 last worn by Ansu Fati. For Yamal, the upcoming season is full of promise. With the World Cup also on the horizon, the young forward is ready to chase glory both for club and country. After enjoying almost a full decade of stability, the FC Barcelona goal is undergoing generational changes this summer. The Catalans have already signed a new player for this position, Joan Garcia, which goes on to show their intent to revamp this position ahead of the next season. After bringing in Joan Garcia as their new starting goalkeeper, Barcelona quickly moved to secure Wojciech Szczesny with a contract extension. The Polish veteran, who joined mid-season to cover for ter Stegen's injury, is now expected to serve as the backup under Hansi Flick, while Garcia takes the number 1 spot. This shift leaves Marc-Andre ter Stegen in an uncertain position at the club. And now, things have taken a twist. Pep Guardiola is reportedly interested in bringing the German goalkeeper to Manchester City. Guardiola knows ter Stegen well from his time at Barcelona and believes the experienced shot-stopper would fit perfectly into his system at City, especially with his composure on the ball and distribution skills. With ter Stegen potentially being pushed down the pecking order at Barca, this could be the right time for both the club and the player to consider a move, and Guardiola may be ready to take full advantage of the situation. This situation leaves the German goalkeeper ter Stegen in a very delicate position. Having joined Barcelona back in 2014, he has been the undisputed starter in goal for most of the last decade. However, now things are changing and his future at the Catalan club is highly uncertain. In such a context, Fischages reports that the Manchester City coach Pep Guardiola has set his sights on the experienced goalkeeper. The former Barcelona coach is quite familiar with the Blaugrana club, and believes the German goalie, with his experience and proven ability with his feet, would perfectly suit his own team. Manchester City would be a good option for the Barcelona goalie. With the situation that ter Stegen is facing at Barcelona, it should not really be hard for the English club to reach an agreement with the Blaugranes or the player. In fact, they can get the goalie for a significantly reduced price in this scenario. Playing for a club as big as Manchester City can also maximize ter Stegen's chances of being the starting goalkeeper for his German national team in the upcoming World Cup 2026. But for now, it remains to be seen how this story develops and where the German would be playing next season. FC Barcelona will look to be very calculated this summer when it comes to departures and arrivals. It simply would not make sense for La Blaugrana to haphazardly make decisions in that regard. For that reason, each and every decision will be taken carefully by Barcelona. Recently, Barcelona's board held a crucial internal meeting to map out their summer transfer strategy. While several names have been discussed as potential departures or reinforcements, one player in particular stands out: Pau Victor. The 23-year-old forward has drawn interest from multiple clubs, but Barcelona are taking a firm stance on his situation. According to Sport, the club is not open to loaning him out. Instead, they are only willing to consider a permanent sale, and not just to give him more playing time elsewhere. This decision isn't because they don't value Pau Victor. In fact, Hansi Flick appreciates his work ethic and sees him as a useful option for the upcoming preseason tour. But with Barca's ongoing need to balance their books and return to La Liga's 1:1 financial rule, every transfer is being weighed with extreme caution. If any club wants to land Pau Victor, they'll have to make a serious offer, reportedly above 10 million euros. Until then, the player remains part of Flick's plans, at least temporarily, as Barca keep evaluating their options. This is not because Barca does not value the player, but in fact the complete opposite. Hansi Flick appreciates the player's commitment and work ethic, so he would ideally like for him to stay as a part of the first team squad and play during the upcoming preseason tour. A price tag in mind already. FC Barcelona will look to be very calculated this summer when it comes to departures and arrivals. It simply would not make sense for La Blaugrana to haphazardly make decisions in that regard. For that reason, each and every decision will be taken carefully by Barcelona. Even recently, the club held an important meeting that was reportedly arranged to discuss their transfer plans for this summer. At the same time, however, it is being reported that Barcelona might just be pursuing multiple targets simultaneously. Currently, various reports are coming in identifying certain players as being transfer listed while others are regarded as being too important for Hansi Flick to consider selling. However, the case of 23-year-old Pau Victor is a rather curious one for now. As highlighted by Sport, Barcelona are not completely opposed to letting him go this summer, but it would not just be for him to get minutes. In his case, the Catalan giants are not after a loan deal and would only consider a permanent transfer. This is not because Barca does not value the player, but in fact the complete opposite. Hansi Flick appreciates the player's commitment and work ethic, so he would ideally like for him to stay as a part of the first team squad and play during the upcoming preseason tour. A price tag in mind already. However, if Barcelona are to let him go, they would want a transfer fee worth more than 10 million euros to consider letting go of him. After all, given the club's limited financial budget and resources, they need all the income they can get to comply with financial fair play and return to the 1:1 rule. So far, the 23-year-old player has received multiple offers from several major La Liga clubs as well. However, all of them are after a loan deal to acquire the player temporarily, but Barcelona stand firm with their stance right now that he would only leave on a permanent transfer. Still, if the club does manage to return to the 1:1 rule soon and their financial situation improves, even a loan might just be doable for them. Until then, however, Victor is expected to remain with Barcelona and the club is expected to assess other cases where an exit would be ideally preferred. Barcelona only considering a sale for Pau Victor. However, if Barcelona are to let him go, they would want a transfer fee worth more than 10 million euros to consider letting go of him. After all, given the club's limited financial budget and resources, they need all the income they can get to comply with financial fair play and return to the 1:1 rule. So far, the 23-year-old player has received multiple offers from several major La Liga clubs as well. However, all of them are after a loan deal to acquire the player temporarily, but Barcelona stand firm with their stance right now that he would only leave on a permanent transfer. Still, if the club does manage to return to the 1:1 rule soon and their financial situation improves, even a loan might just be doable for them. Until then, however, Victor is expected to remain with Barcelona and the club is expected to assess other cases where an exit would be ideally preferred. Barcelona's future is taking shape, and it's filled with ambition, change and rising stars like Lamine Yamal. The number 10 shirt is more than a number, and Yamal wants to honor it by delivering trophies the club craves.